what could have been the reasons, what could have been the terms, basis which the ceasefire, immediate ceasefire has been announced between India and Pakistan?
Thank you. First, I don't think from our side it is called a ceasefire. It is a stoppage of fire. That is what the Foreign Secretary said. So I think the ceasefire is a later stage. There is still space in that. The second aspect is that the diplomatic engagement between India and Pakistan is at its lowest ebb. Therefore, there was no doubt it had to be third-party facilitators who would play a role. And I think this role has been played by the United States and by Saudi Arabia. The United States, I think, was unsure how this would go. And having already faced a kind of a slap in the face over Ukraine, we saw that both President Trump and Vice President Vance were distancing themselves from the process, though Mark Rubio was fully involved with the foreign ministers, the NSAs, and perhaps in Islamabad, he was calling the wrong number. And I think today he called Rawalpindi and finally spoke to General Munir. And after that, it seems that the DGMO of Pakistan called the Indian DGMO. So that hotline still works. And please remember, in 2021, it was that hotline which instituted the ceasefire, which then fell apart in 2023. So I think that DGMO line has worked. The Foreign Secretary has announced that the DGMOs will next meet on 12th May. Now, I'm not clear, are they physically going to meet?
Ambassador, let me read out the statement so that there is no doubt over what has been said by the Foreign Secretary. And I have it right here with me. The Foreign Secretary of India, Vikram Misri, at the press briefing today, which was expected to, like I mentioned earlier, expected to start at 5:30, started with a little delay, around 5:57 p.m. IST, said that the DGMO of Pakistan called the Director General of Military Operations of India at 15:35 hours this afternoon. Earlier, it was agreed between them that both sides would stop all firing and military action on land and in the air and sea with effect from 1700 IST today. Instructions have been given on both sides to give effect to this understanding. The DGMOs will talk again on 12th of May at 1200 hours.
Yeah, to talk again.
Right.
But I think one thing important, different from Rubio's tweet, is that there is no commitment by India that we are going to start a dialogue with Pakistan. So I heard your other panelists say that there are no talks with terror at the same time. So I think what levers were pulled to get to this stage? I think with Pakistan, the lever was the ultimate approval, despite Indian objections, to the IMF bailout package, continuing over a longer period. So I think that was the leverage for them. And the leverage on our side was the very clear enunciation before Foreign Secretary spoke that any act of terror would by India be considered an act of war. So this change in our strategic policy has now come out openly. So once you put these red lines into place, then a stoppage of firing is evident, because to my mind, Operation Sindoor was a retribution for Pahalgam. From the Indian point of view, there was no escalation. That is why in all our press conferences, Foreign Secretary kept referring to the term de-escalatory. That was because we were not interested in an escalation. The escalation came from Pakistan. So rightly, Pakistan called to end it.